Shalom Akim, Shalom Akwathiam, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. This is your brother Benaim from the Great Millstone Atlanta camp, and I want to introduce you to what is currently the largest continuous land desert. But why am I bringing this to the forefront? Because we continuously have new brothers and sisters coming into this truth. You must know and comprehend that America, aka Babylon the Great, is approaching World War III very swiftly. And when those nuclear missiles are shot off and hit this place, it's going to make it what the scriptures refer to as a complete and utter lake of fire. But after that fire goes out, America is going to be the largest continuous land desert. Remember, all this is a part of prophecy, and all prophecies shall come to pass. And I want to use Rub al-Khali as somewhat of a preview and or a backdrop as to the condition that America is going to be left in. I want to read a portion of this paragraph here and crunch a few numbers for you. Now it states, and we'll get right into the scriptures, and I'm going to play this video I have queued up for you as well. It states here, the largest continuous land desert is Rub al-Khali, also known as the Empty Quarter, and that's what America's going to be, the Empty Quarter, which is located on the Arabian Peninsula and spans parts of Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, and the United Arab Emirates. It is considered the world's largest continuous sand desert. Now let's grab a few numbers here. And just so you know, this place in square miles is 250,966 square miles. You should be thinking, well, how big and how large America is according to square miles. Well, America is 3,809,525 square miles. So let's crunch some numbers very quickly here, and we'll get right into that video. Just as a quick overview, America is 15 and a half times size larger. All right, and let's come out of this here, and let's go to the fair use and no copyright disclaimer, because I don't want this video to get hit with a copyright strike. It tells us this under the copyright disclaimer, under Title 17, USC, Section 107, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit education or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now, with that being said, let me come back out of this, and I want to leave America square footage queued up for you. Now listen closely to the details, because this is what's going to happen to America, aka Babylon the Great, and that's according to prophecy. Let's get right into it.
To the north of the Dhofar Mountains lies a place of almost unimaginable emptiness, the Rub al-Khali, the Empty Quarter. The very name of the place resonates with the romance of these desert lands. This is the largest sand sea in the world. There are parts where human beings never venture. Only the greatest desert specialists can survive here. Arabian oryx. Their ranges of...
We stopped there, and I looked for that video in its entirety, but I couldn't find it. But how do we know that this is going to occur to America, Babylon the Great, according to scripture, according to prophecy? Because that's what it's all about, man. We want to see this place destroyed. This is the hopeful year of our deliverance, and only desert creatures are going to dwell here. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 19 through 22, and it reads, Babylon, which is America, the jewel of kingdoms, The pride of the glory of the Babylonians will be overthrown by the Most High like Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, we all remember what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. As a matter of fact, let me grab that precept very quickly in Genesis, the 19th chapter and the 24th verse. It reads, Then the Lord, and the Lord in all caps, his name is Yahweh, rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. Now, how the Lord is going to do that now is through those nuclear missiles. Let me continue on in verse 20. And it reads, She will never be inhabited or lived in through all generations. There no nomad will pitch their tents. There no sheep will rest their flocks. Salakia, there no shepherds will rest their flocks. But desert creatures will lie there. Jackals will fill her houses. There their owls will dwell, and the wild goats will leap about. Hyenas will inhabit their strongholds, jackals her luxurious palaces. Her time is at hand, and her days will not be prolonged. Let's come from here and let's grab another prophecy, because the scriptures tell us that everything be established on 2 or 3 witnesses. This is Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, the 30th through the 40th verse. And it reads, A sword against the Babylonians. And that sword is referring to those nuclear missiles. All right. The scriptures refer to it as what? A glittering sword. A sword against the Babylonians, declares the Lord, against those who live in Babylon, and against her officials and wise men. A sword against her false prophets. They will become like what? Fools. A sword against her warriors. They will be filled with terror. A sword against her horses and chariots, and all the foreigners in her ranks. They will become weaklings. A sword against her treasures. They will be plundered. A drought on her waters. They will be dried up. For it is a land of idols. Idols will go mad with terror. So desert creatures and hyenas will live there, and there the isle will dwell. It will never be inhabited or lived in from generation to generation, as I overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah along with their neighboring towns, declares the Lord. So no one will live there. No people will dwell in it. Beautiful. Let's come from here and let's get one more prophecy. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 13 through 15, and it reads, And he will stretch out his hand against the north. Remember, all of these places are synonymous for what? America. And he will stretch out his hand against the north, destroy Assyria, and make Nineveh a desolation, as the wilderness. The herds shall lie down in her midst, every beast of the nation, both the pelican and the bittern shall lodge on the capitals of her pillars. Their voices shall sing in the windows. Desolation shall be the threshold, for he will lay bare the cedar work. That's going into what? The infrastructure. Everything is going to be destroyed here. Verse 15. This is the rejoicing city that dwelt Salakia securely, that said in her heart, meaning what? Her mind. And this is what the elites say. I am it, and there is none beside me. How has she become a desolation, a place for beasts to lie down? Everyone who passes by her shall hiss and shake his fist. Remember the other nations, some of them are going to be excited that America, Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed, and some nations are going to mourn over Babylon because she's a whore that many of the other nations made an extreme or an exuberant amount of profit off of. But nevertheless, let's move on. Let's get one more precept as well, because even the angels are going to rejoice when this place is destroyed and made a wilderness. This is Revelation, the 18th chapter and the 2nd verse, and it reads, With a mighty voice he shouted. This is an angel. Fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling place for what? Demons. and a hunt for every impure spirit, and a hunt for every unclean bird, and a hunt for every unclean and detestable beast. And that's what's going to happen to this place, man. It's going to be known as the new empty quarter. And I hope through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Yahweh Shai, I was able to write the vision and make it plain upon tables. Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.